Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horse's Mouth podcast. It's been a very long time, and I'm going to explain why. But this will be episode 13. Thank you to all who is tuning in, all who are tuning in, if you are tuning in. And this episode will be entitled, "What is even the point of or the purpose of YouTube anymore?" This also has to do with where I've been for at least a month. Even though I've been gone for just a month, it still feels like a very long time. A month in sort of like online time feels like forever or like a year. I know I don't have like a large following up here, so it's probably not that big of a deal, but I do want to talk about what I've seen, the trend I've seen happening on YouTube, which is a lot of YouTubers either completely just abandoning their YouTube channels, even they have more followers than I do. You know, people that have like 30,000, 50,000 followers, 40,000 followers, just completely abandoning their YouTube, or people who do have large YouTubes or larger YouTubes and they're just not posting as much anymore. They're posting like maybe every month or every couple of months, or you know every year at this point. And it's clear to me that YouTube is kind of flailing and failing. The only people that are still going strong are like the really huge channels that have close to like 1 million followers, or at least upwards in like the 100,000s. But even some of them are starting to fall off and go to like Patreon and stuff like that, doing more work in Patreon. And then the only people who are really going strong are still like the 1 million follower people, like the people who are close to 1 million followers or at 1 million followers, something like that. And then other people who are like in the 100,000 range, they're kind of like transitioning, doing most of their stuff on Patreon. Then they'll do a video every now and then kind of on YouTube every once in a while. And then there are the people who are not who are below the 100,000 range, who some have moved on to Patreon or other platforms, and then or TikTok and stuff like that, which I want to talk about. And then some have just essentially, they just abandoned their YouTube channel altogether, which is just wild to me because I would think if you had 30,000 followers, you would want to keep going. But I do understand it, and I want to talk about some of the reasons why people are just, YouTube is failing in every aspect of the word. I think honestly, even like, I'm going to put myself in the middle of this as well. Like, I haven't really felt incentivized to, I want to do YouTube, I want to do videos, but then there's also other stuff going on in my life, and I just don't sometimes feel like doing a video. It's a lot of work doing a video, and to edit a video and to make sure that it's good quality and good sounding. And so there's not a lot of incentives to do a video on YouTube and put so much work into it, especially when you're not going to get a lot of reward back, and YouTube kind of hinders you at every point. YouTube has messed with this algorithm. It's been messing with this algorithm for the last, I don't know how many years, and it has messed with this algorithm to the point where most people are not gaining any subscribers. They're not gaining any more views than they already were getting. It's very hard I've seen many people that I came on to YouTube with, when I was very new, like 3 years ago or so, right? I think it is now. And they're all gone. They didn't last. They didn't stay. They completely abandoned their YouTube channels. I tried seeing where they were. They are completely gone. So I guess they just gave up. I mean, especially if you're a new YouTuber, it's going to be kind of hard to get views because the algorithm screws you at every point. I mean, they have not, YouTube has kind of done everything to make sure that people cannot make videos. They've put in all these things where you can't say this word, you can't say that word, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't say this, you can't say that. And it's just like, I knew that was never going to work for me. I knew going into this that I was going to have a hard time, because personally, when I get on a video, like, that you can't have any cussing in your video. Okay, well, that's going to be hard for me, because sometimes I get passionate about things. Sometimes I let out a word or two. I'm not going to edit out or more. And I'm not going to edit out every single word where I cuss. It doesn't make any sense. Even in certain contexts, you can't use certain words like the R word or whatever it is. And then it's just like ridiculous. And then on top of that, being the algorithm only incentivizes people who are like, who already were established on YouTube for like, a decade or more, essentially, who've been on YouTube at least 7 years. Like most people I see that have like huge channels have been on YouTube for 7 years. But if you were a new YouTuber, there's no way that they were going to incentivize you whatsoever, no matter what your content was, right? And then, yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous. So, like, they've kind of done everything in their power to make sure that nobody can actually, make quality videos and actually get the recognition they deserve for their videos and for the content that they're making. It's not an equal playing field for everybody when you come onto the platform, which is the other thing that is going on with YouTube is competition, which is TikTok. Most people have moved on to TikTok, where the playing field it's not completely even. And that's also there's a racial aspect to this as well. Not incentivizing making sort of like, black people and other people, making, not pushing them to the top, but pushing other people and other content creators who are mostly white to the top. But, TikTok, and it has its own issues as well. But TikTok does seem to have a more even playing field than YouTube does. I'm not actually sure about their payment stuff as like that's going on, but I know YouTube screwed people in the payment process as well with the sort of ads that they put up there. And then also, they can they can just flag your video for any little thing. I still to this day do not understand how reaction videos are making any money anymore, because like literally if I try to put anything in a video, it flags it and says that any little snippet, it could be like 15 seconds, and they'll say this video cannot be monetized because it has copyrighted. I use 15 seconds of a freaking a clip. I use 15 seconds of a clip, and you're telling me I can't monetize? First of all, I can't monetize a video anyway because I don't have enough followers. You have to have at least 1,000 followers, something like that, in order to get monetization. But it says if I do hit monetization, I can never monetize those videos and monetize those views off of those videos. It's just kind of ridiculous. Like, what? I use 15 seconds of a clip and I can't monetize? Like, that makes no sense. Like, it's completely original thoughts and ideas. I'm mostly talking throughout the entirety of the video. I just use a clip for examples to show a visual, but you can't even do that. So I guess most people do what they do in reaction videos. I don't know how they're making any money. I'm assuming that they're not making any money, but reaction videos are a big niche in the YouTube market. But going back to the TikTok thing, I think TikTok, I'm not sure that they make a lot of money off of their videos, but I think that they are able to get brand endorsement deals off of their videos on TikTok. I think that's where the majority, even though they're not making a lot of money off of the actual TikTok video, they do make an exceptional amount of money off of the branding that they get off of their TikTok views. So even that's better. Even that's better than YouTube, which changed their payment policies, right? Like, they can pretty much, demonetize your videos at whim, whenever they feel like it, which I've seen with a lot of YouTubers, even the larger ones. Like, they'll talk about how their videos have been demonetized. Like, oh, they just demonetized that last video. They didn't even give me a reason why. Okay, YouTube. Like, but TikTok. So people are going to TikTok, but like I'm not. The reason why I don't feel like I would do well in TikTok is because I don't really make shorthand commentary and snack bite commentary or snack bite videos. I'm not really into that. And it seems to be that's also another reason why TikTok is winning, is because people are really into right now, I think, shorthand content that is not too long, that is not any longer than 3 minutes. And that's just not what YouTube is for. YouTube was always for longer form content. I know people are going to say, well, podcasts are doing really well right now. But honestly, the podcasts are doing really well right now. Like, okay, y'all want to talk about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was a celebrity. before he was a celebrity, who just used a little bit of his notoriety that he got from when he was a celebrity, and then transfer that into a podcast where they talk about politics, which is like a real hot button issue right now. Joe Budden, another guy, who was a celebrity and a rapper, who used the little bit of notoriety he had to build a following. Like, the podcasts that are popular, most of the people that started them already had notoriety before, already had some notoriety before. There are very few podcasts, in my opinion, that will get as large as a Joe Rogan's or a Joe Budden's podcast, with just normal, regular, everyday people that started from nothing, like literally are starting from ground zero. Like, it's just, I just don't see it. Maybe you can name me a few in the comment section below, but I just don't personally see it. But yeah, and also I just think, shorthand content seems to be in right now, and YouTube is more longhand content, long form content, and so there's really not like a whole lot of play. So on top of YouTube also screwing its content creators, then on top of that, the shorthand content which TikTok provides, that also pays better, that also has a more even playing field in terms of its algorithm. It's just sort of the power dynamic has shifted in their direction, and then it's not shifted in YouTube's direction, but mostly it is due to YouTube's fault. Honestly, I still think, even though people are more into shorthand content right now, I still think YouTube could still be very lucrative, and it could see more growth instead of declining like it is now, if it didn't shoot itself in the foot at every hand in order to appease sort of like a lot of donors, I'm guessing, from a lot of these ads and stuff like that, who wanted them to crack down on a lot of like the more edgier sides of YouTube, the people who talk about edgier things. Like, I already knew coming into YouTube, that I was going to have a hard time. One, because I didn't pick a niche. I didn't pick a niche thing that I wanted to do. I was like, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to have my channel, and I'm going to make videos day to day about whatever the fuck I feel like I want to talk about. If I want to talk about movies, I'll talk about movies. I want to talk about, if I want to talk about, music, I'm going to talk about music. If I want to talk about politics, I'm going to talk about politics. If I want to talk about whatever, I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. And that is not very good coming into a YouTube that is very niche oriented, where you have to sort of stick to one thing or another, and you have to sort of label yourself and put yourself in a box, because that's kind of what audiences like. They like sort of niche content. Okay, this guy's videos, or this girl's videos, or this person's videos is about this, right? And you can't really deviate too much, and I just didn't want to do that, and I knew I was going to have a hard time because of that. And I was like, okay, but even still, I see people whose content is all over the place or whatever, and they still have pretty good views, or they went back when YouTube wasn't so trash, they still got pretty good views. So I thought that I could do it too. It would be a little bit harder work, but I could still do the same. Wrong. I also knew about the cussing thing, and that I was going to have a hard time coming into that, because I knew at the time that the algorithm was changing, and they were cracking down on certain language and stuff like that, so you can't do too much. So I was just like, I'll just, whatever. But then I also knew the racial thing as well. The racial thing, me being a black person, that there was going to be some downsides to that. So I knew all of the downsides coming onto YouTube as late as I did when I did. At the same time, it still shouldn't have been that hard to, and I still think I did pretty good, 255 subscribers and stuff like that. I still think I did pretty well considering all of these sort of hurdles. At the same time, I have not felt incentivized to, even though I have wanted to make videos, I've not felt incentivized to make videos because of all that. I'm just kind of in the headspace right now where I'm like, and I think a lot of people are, where they either just abandon their YouTube completely, or they're just like, I'll make a video when I'm ready to make a video. Like, I have other stuff going on in my life. Me personally, I'm a teacher. I wanted to take time to write this summer as well, because I'm also an author. I put my book down in the description box below every video, and I'll put it down in the description box below for this video as well. So I'm an author as well. I'm always writing. I'm a writer. I'm a teacher. Like, I have things that I just have things that are going on in my life where I'm just like, they have taken more precedent over YouTube, because there's not a lot of incentives to there's not a lot of incentivizing of doing a YouTube video, even though I'm still interested in doing, reviews and stuff like that, and commentary and things of that nature. And I think a lot of people are just sort of feeling the same. And I follow a lot of people. Some of the people that I follow, like I said before, some of the people that just dropped off the face of the map, because there really is no place for them. There's not a real place for them on Twitter. There's not a real place for them on IG, because they're not IG people. There's not even a place for them on TikTok, because they're not shorthand. They're not short form content creators. And so where do the long form content creators go, like me, who don't? And I feel like I fit into that box, because I know that there's some people that have gone over to Patreon, but they could go to Patreon because they got a large enough following to do so, right? And I'm not exactly, and they have a large enough following to do so, but not everybody has that. And so a lot of people are like, okay, where do I take my long form content? Where is there a space for me? Where is there a place for me? And that's where I'm kind of at right now in my head as well. Like, where is there a place for me? Somebody who doesn't have a big following. I can't go on to Patreon and people sign up for my Patreon. Nobody's going to do that. I don't have a large enough following to do that. I can't go on TikTok because I'm not a short form content creator. Twitter is not really for me, because that also is short form. I see Twitter as also short form content creating as well. Also, it's just it's Twitter. The discourse on Twitter is kind of nonsensical, and it's just sort of circular, and it really goes nowhere. It's not productive. I don't think Twitter is a productive way of like communication or conversation or discourse at all, or commentary whatsoever. It's just people yelling at each other, angry and yelling at each other. IG, I am on IG, but haven't figured out how to. And I do like Instagram. I do enjoy the stories aspects of it. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you want to follow me, I'll put it in the discussion box below. But I put some stories, and I put my highlights, I put things, my ideas, I write out ideas and stuff in my stories and stuff like that. And I also, and not just, commentary and like, like essayist stuff, but also like just fun stuff and pictures of black people and what other black creators and stuff I share on there. And so I do like IG, even though I don't have a large following on IG. Don't really know how to create a large following on IG either, and how the algorithm works for that. And so, yeah, I've just been thinking, lately about where is my place in this internet space. And that's really what I'm trying to think through right now. So I might not be doing a lot of videos all the time, and that might mean like I go a month without doing a video. And that's just what I'm going to have to live with. Because honestly, what am I getting out of it? What am I getting out of it if I do 15 video? I mean, if I do like a video every day or a video every week, I'm not really getting a whole lot of, it's not a whole lot of gains or a whole lot of growth in the first place. So I might as well just do like once every month or so like that. And if I feel better about it, maybe I will do once, but it's kind of just going to be whenever I feel like. I also know that there is content that I could do on YouTube that, I'm very in tune with like the YouTube, what are the hot button issues that people seem to gravitate towards. It's just that I don't personally want to do them. Like, I understand that relationships and stuff like that is like hot button topics on YouTube, but I don't give a fuck about y'all relationships. Like, I don't care about people's relationship problems. I don't care that you hate men. I don't care that you hate women. I don't care. I don't care about the men bashing or the women bashing on these like I guess relationship sites, that y'all be going to and listening to. I don't care. I understand I could do that. I just don't give a fuck to do it because it's like ridiculous. I don't care. It's just inane to me and it's insane to me. And I might actually do a video topic on the whole relationship. Not just they're not really gurus. They just kind of complain about men. It's like women channels that complain about men, men's channels that complain about women. It's just, and then they have like hybrid channels where both men and women get together and they kind of like yell at each other and go back and forth with each other. It's just kind of, it's all very kind of tiring to me. But I might do a video on that. Like, I have ideas for videos, I just never do them. But yeah, I know I could do that. I also know I could go full deep into like discourse about politics, but I don't want everything to be about the state of the world, because sometimes you do need some levity, sometimes you do need some release. And so I do like to do movies sometimes, I do like to talk about music sometimes, and so on and so forth. And that's why I never wanted to box myself in. It goes back to the thing about not boxing myself in. I just didn't feel like I wanted to put a label on myself as being a part of this niche or that niche. I just like what I like, and people, either they're gonna fuck with it or not gonna fuck with it, and that's fine. But that's what just kind of headspace I'm in and thinking about YouTube right now. Where is the place for content creators and people who want to do social commentary, reviews, etc., etc. Where is the place on the internet for people who are long form content creators like myself, who are starting from ground zero? Where do we go? Do we just wait for the next new thing to be created so we can jump on that and get our followings there? I don't know. Do we continue on with YouTube, or do we just let it go? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. I just know that I wanted to come and speak on it as a YouTube video. But if you guys have commentary on this and on this phenomenon that's happening to YouTube, the decline of YouTube, so to speak, please leave your comments and commentary down in the comment section below. All views are welcome. Nobody will be blocked or nothing on here, nothing like that, unless you're just being like completely disrespectful or something like that. But yeah, other than that, I will see y'all next time for the next video.